Evening, folks. Welcome back to yet another late night live stream with your host, yours truly, Deehaw. Now, on this fine Sunday night, we're playing more Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I don't know why that came out so slowly. I had to think for a second for some reason. Although I had no idea what I would be even thinking about. I have the game open right in front of me. Now, I have a couple things I need to set up first. Let's see. Come on. There we go. All right. Please. Thank you. All right, folks. Last time we began our Great Ace Attorney adventure, the Guy Adventures. So are all the episodes named The Adventure X? The Adventure of X instead of Turnabout X? We'll see. Turnabouts are no more. We adventuring now. All right. So we left off at our little recess in intermission because we have discovered our new prime suspect, a British woman. It is 11:38 a.m. on the 22nd of November. Hello, Cosma. Excellent work, Inosuke. That was superb. Now, is it crazy to maybe think that this guy is a Fae ancestor, like Mia Fey? I mean, he's basically filling the same role that Mia did, right? Although that one girl in a kimono earlier also looked like a Fae. She was wearing a pink kimono, I believe. Excellent work, Inosuke. That was superb. Ugh, my heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you'd started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Hold on. So we know Kazuma is 23, but can I check how old I am? No, I can't. I'll just assume that Naruhodo is also 23. Anyway, looks like we've exposed your Phantom Lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overtly overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. He noticed that he was sitting next to someone else. Incredible. Incredible powers. I wonder if there's going to be any, like, gimmicks in this game. I mean, we've seen the multiple people on the stand at once, but, you know, previous Ace Attorneys, all the lawyers had, like, special powers or something, like the Magatama, the Mood Matrix thing, or the what do you call Apollo's thing? Just super sight? Honestly, I'd be fine if this didn't have any of that. It seems to be a little more grounded. So about this young gentlewoman, thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then, on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor, just after I bent down and picked it up. Bang. I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking white as a sheet. He bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. He stuffed you into the pantry? Oh. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry. Oops, didn't mean to click on that. I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Oh, is that the old guy? Oh, it's her again. She hasn't said a word. Mr. Mikotoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system, even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. Are we actually going to Britain? I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, looks like it all comes down to you, young man. Turn to me. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? Personal connection? Is he related to anyone? I mean, he seems to be pretty invested into Kazuma's success, right? That's probably it. That's definitely it. I don't think it's probably not deeper than that. He does want Kazuma to succeed, because if he doesn't, then he's donezo. Well, he won't get sentenced, but he won't go to Britain. If you don't mind asking me, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. Oh, it was deeper than that. Literally like 2 dialogue lines later. I say, oh, it's probably just Cosma, you know? That's it. Never mind. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. And it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. I need your strongest potions. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I've no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. Oh? There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Sama? She dropped the Sama? Who is this guy? Or is that just like a quirk of hers? I don't know. Is she a literal servant? Is Cosma filthy rich? Defendant Naruhodo? Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow. Or those old fossils know it hits them. Oh, yeah, that's the sentence. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really gonna give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So, this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. No hamburgers, only sukiyaki. Alright, who is this girl? The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Professor Aochi, oh, not Professor, I don't know why I mix those up sometimes. Prosecutor Aochi, have you managed to subpoena the witness?
Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government.
Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about.
It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders?
Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke.
What do you mean?
A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England?
Shut up! Shut up, you jumped-up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures.
I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there's one thing I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Ooh. Smooth words. Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror, he's still doing that fidgety thing.
You little brats!
Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett.
Yes. Your Excellency!
Is that a bow or just a slam? Hello, hat. That is quite the headpiece you've got there.
Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land.
Tea. Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. That's... No, you can't do that. Is that true? No idea.
So,
What is this animation, dude? Reminds me of, what's that guy from the very first trial, the very first game? Saw It. Yeah. Didn't Saw It do like a similar thing with his hands?
Can we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court?
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. Why are you here? I've been working undercover as the head waiter at La Carnival, but my true...
Yes, we know all about you already.
Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first.
Is that true?
No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today, you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh, yes. I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. Yeah.
So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please.
Will you face us? We don't even know your eyes. Is this... Excuse me? Oh. It's because she's speaking English and we're speaking in Japanese. Yeah, translator? Is that what Hosanaga's for?
I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what?
Why are you covering your face like that? The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in UMA University's medical faculty.
Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song.
Oh my god. The glazing is crazy. As far as I can tell. The detective was translating her words faithfully enough. Oh, you understand a little English? I mean, at some point, I'm sure that Ryunosuke is going to be bilingual, right? He's going to learn English and we don't have to deal with this translator shenanigans. Yes, I agree. Oh, you do know a little bit too. You'll obviously do fine in England, Cosma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. Well, they have been taking classes. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called the La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? I like the dynamic of the lady and her butler, but it's also probably the culprit and her lackey? I don't know. Not really lackey. But he is also following the police's orders, who is under her influence, I'm sure. She says, yes. This could take some time. All that for yes. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese? She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She said that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting, when you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau.
Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photograph print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps?
Apparently, it was very frightening and a sorrowful sight. What do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. Oh, so you're saying you witnessed the crime and then left because you were like, oh, time to go to class. I need to do my presentation. Sorry, bye-bye. Even though the person who died was literally a guest professor at the same university, at the same, like, school that you go to. They're both medical. Yeah, right, man. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Okay, what the fuck is my motive? Order in the court.
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement.
Yes, witness statements are very conclusive and reliable, as we have seen so far time and time again. Well, looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Fortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Dude, her hat would make a banger TF2 cosmetic. I wonder if the characters they use for, like, the the English actually mean anything. Is this what cursive looks like to people who don't know English? I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only, a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor. We got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. The professor's gun? Who said it was ever owned by the professor? I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously it couldn't have been the culprit. I don't know. I'm sure you could hold a lot in that dump truck of a dress you have. No, I don't have any kind of argument with the professor at all.
Quiet, you filthy wretch. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard. And look at the Snow White Angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words in the court is going to believe.
Yes, everyone believed the pretty lady. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. It's a lesson you need to learn.
But he's so annoying. He started it.
Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. Yes, it was decided. She, who was literally in there at the time, was not involved, at the same table as the victim. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit she is today. Oh. Really now? As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. Are you kidding me? That dress? That hat? The fucking hat? You could fit a whole fucking tank inside that swan. I think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to.
Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot.
There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Just take off your fucking hat, lady. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. That's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ryunosuke. You dog. I was thinking the hat first. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. To do so, you will need to pull her testimony apart. Oh, the smile. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. A frightening and sorrowful sight.
Yes!
Yes. After 2 p.m., in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are en vogue. Isn't that right?
No. Even I could tell. The no. A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems, so it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense.
Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is.
She didn't say a thing other than no. What the fuck are you talking about? So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next?
Yes!
He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he just had a tooth removed at the Hada Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of the fact? Seems so, yes. She'd heard the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? So, why in the second picture was the professor sitting at her seat with the steak? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left?
Dear me, what a harrowing experience.
Let me double check what they said about that. So the print shows the table as it was left after the horrifying events. So if we look at the court record, it's this one. The steak was less than half eaten, and the chair is turned backwards.
To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to his terrible plight.
Ouchie, I gotta say, man, you have no chance with her. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right, other than some carbonated water. Carbonated water. So why wasn't there a glass on the other side of the table then? Only one glass. Just water. Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement? It's very meaningful. I'll work on my slams. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case.
Well, well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing?
The significance of this statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony.
Well, sidestepped, counsel.
Counsel? Is that how they used to address other people in courts? Like, is that a Japanese thing? Like the Japanese word for counsel, was that used, or was that used in other countries? I do not know. Gladly, she says. Look at that smile. That devious smile. Up to no good. It's brilliant, Cosma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. Okay, so let's press everything first.
Yes!
I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese.
No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all supiku Englishu.
What? I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman. Supiku Ingorishu is crazy. I did not expect that. Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how... whatever it may be. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. Hey, Sandy. Good to see you again. How you doing? Glad to have you. Happy to see you. And the next time you got up after that was when I'd finished my coffee and stood up to leave. Brett. Still don't understand the joke behind Brett's name. Giselle Brett. Giselle Brett. Brett Giselle? I'm lost. It's going over my head.
Yes!
Like I said, I did not shoot the gun.
And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over.
Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side.
Important characters don't get joke names? Well, maybe not. But, I mean, even the important characters in Ace Attorney have joke names sometimes, like fucking Apollo Justice. His last name is fucking Justice. Athena Sykes. Sykes, literally the psychology girl? You kidding me? Even here, Ryunosuke fucking Naruhodo? Naruhodo? I understand, or like I get it in Japanese. Just MC things, I guess so.
Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand.
I have no reason to assume that Giselle Brett is an important character. She seems to be like the first case fodder culprit, like the rest of them. Well, yes, that's true, but all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes, there was someone much closer to the victim than me at the time. The highly suspicious lady in the stand.
That will do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel.
Dirty?
Your baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy.
Really? International incident? It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours.
Oh, what nonsense.
The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway.
Yes!
It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it? Absolutely, I verified it personally. Really now? You verified it? Yes, immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. Do a fucking full body search or not? I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not."
Wait, what?
Yes, I made sure she was not carrying a weapon. Miss, are you carrying a weapon?
I'm not.
Okay. You're good to go.
That's all you did? You just asked her?
Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No.
Why on earth not? The honorable English gentlewoman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. There's obviously no need for any further probing into the matter.
Dude, Hosanaga's paycheck must be crazy for him to do that. Or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps. Very questionable security.
Think what you will, but if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that a refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts.
These guys have never heard of a femme fatale before. In other words, he wants evidence. Ugh. The lady wishes to point out that of course she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation, but she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of here. Not to get her out of there, I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime, which is why she's only happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course.
Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. Could you at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you?
He's like, I'm just gonna ignore you now. I'm thinking. Which is out now, totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. Is it now? After all, she's an elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm dressed exactly the same way as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. And in sword. And armband. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction as it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even you with your thick skin must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well. I feel half dead already. The fact I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. The first thing to do is press her on any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. Do that, and an opening will present itself. I promise you. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Alright. Well, we already know what to do here. Let us present this picture.
Yes!
The fucking face he makes when he figures something out is amazing. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. You have to stare directly into the camera, man. It's like he's staring into me. It's like I'm the voice in his head telling him. The man behind the screen. It's like, it's this fucking evidence, dude. Presented here. And he's like, what the fuck are you saying? Oh, okay. I got you, bro. It always gets you. It's gonna get me every time too, I swear. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is, it's odd, very odd.
Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself.
Ugh. Inosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you?
Well, obviously, it's the cheers.
The
Cheers?
Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Ah. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case?
Oh, that's what your voice sounds like. Minutia, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. Well, there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me that you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Glance. What's going on now? Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. Oh, she just stole it. It was also terrifying, everything that happened. Miam just spoke cursive. Well, that's how all British people speak, you know? You never heard an English accent in your life? You put it, you hold up the fucking Google Translate app to them, and it types it out in cursive. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact I'd been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious. Sorry. Oh, the cursive sorry. Little coy smile. I'm gonna get you, bitch. Just you wait. Or I guess a more time-appropriate insult would be wench. I'm gonna get you, wench.
There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all.
It's giving sarcasm. Yeah, that plus the little cheeky smile. Oh, please.
You must remember that the student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes.
Okay, well, before I continue, obviously she's lying here again. Because if she took the glass from the table, then why did she take the glass from the side that was not hers? Here we see the one glass at this side with the steak, and we know that she had to have been the one eating the steak. So if she took her glass, then the one that should be missing is the one we see here. But she took this one. If she did take a glass at all, that's what happened. And that gets into the mystery of why this guy is in this spot at all, in the first place.
Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray?
Yeah, she's just hiding the glass. Don't worry about it. She's just a girl. She's just a girl. That's absurd.
Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief? What?
No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. A little more than mischief, I'd say. A little mischief and murder. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. Oh, you're carrying a handbag now. And here you are claiming that you have nowhere to hide a weapon. Yes, Your Excellency, a small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England.
And so, the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. The student has been trying to confuse the court with illogical reasoning, but in the end, it comes to nothing.
Ah, yes, I will confuse you with my logic. Who is this guy?
No more pretentious accusations. You've wasted enough time already.
Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed the glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement?
Well,
I don't know, really. Hey, Cece. Good to see ya. Affiliation. Oh, yeah. I was affiliated a while ago, but I think it's been a whole year, huh? Holy shit. Thanks for the subscription. I really appreciate it. Thank you for enjoying my stream. If you want to pursue this matter further, it only popped now? Oh, did you do it a while ago? Twitch doing some confusing things. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. There's a deeper significance there. It's... well, if anything, it's the handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say?
yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items.
Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
Monet. Good to see ya. Oh, welcome. It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will.
You can't seriously be suggesting...
Inspector Hosonaga? Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? Nope. No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag.
No!
Order.
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchie?
Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time?
Money.
Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Cosmo? Oh. It's this again. You're fucking coughing up blood. Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. Do you think I would have any faith after this? As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting, simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. Really? Oh. Wait, what's that on the floor? Oh, it's his hand. This photographic print. Another picture. What? Why is there like a cow on your wrist? And your handbag is like, you can see into it? That shit's begging to be stolen. You can see what's inside. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, oh, the affiliation didn't appear last time. Oh, well. Yeah, that's what shenanigans. Thanks for the congrats anyway. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Ah. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. They both tilt their head in the same direction and smile at the same time. What the fuck is going on? Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. Oh my god, I got slammed into the wall behind me. Ain't no way. Oh, for real. Yeah, I like the animations in this a lot. Like the user environment. This is new tech. This is groundbreaking. Oops. Yes, submit as evidence. Alright, shows Miss Brett's handbag with the chair at the victim's table. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. His attorney gets so creative. Honestly, the fact that they set the bar so low, no offense intended, but like, you know, the first Ace Attorney game is a very, very simple, like sprite-based visual novel with very limited animation set. So honestly, anything that like steps it up from there is like, whoa, mind blown, dude. It's crazy. I mean that in like the honestly most, I don't know, genuine way possible. Like I genuinely am surprised when I see stuff like that. Yeah, true, Sandy. Yeah, I really enjoyed the first ones. Like I had no problem with like how the first games looked. Because I was just like, yeah, that's how it is. You know? You don't really expect much from DS/GBA era visual novels. Anyway, I want to look at the picture that we just got. So there's this. Same thing as that. So his hand must have fallen on that somehow. But the question is, why? How did that even happen? Wouldn't you be sitting on this side, Professor? I'm confused. Oh, I can rotate my pin. Holy shit, I have an ID. Personal student number is engraved on the back here. If you lose your pin, they won't accept you as a UMA student at the university. You may not come in, they say. Ha ha ha. Of course, you get a new pin if you can just tell them your number. I've actually lost mine twice already, but I still know my student number by heart. I always say to myself, I must forget to write it down somewhere, but then I forget. Not to forget that. Imperial. Ah, the symbol of UMA University. Every student wears this pin with pride. It's funny, those emblems seem to be either round or rectangular. I like the spike design, even though it doesn't really make any sense. Although it does cause problems. Lots of students end up cutting their fingers on their badges. Perhaps it was the idea of one of the founders. A sharp pin for a sharp mind, or something. So you? Is your number 000901? That's so easy to remember. What the fuck, Naruhodo? Are you dumb? Maybe. He may be stupid. Go easy on him, guys. Maybe you forgot the amount of zeros. It's 3 zeros. How do you forget that many zeros? And I would assume every student ID is the same number of digits. So if you just remember 901 and then the first 3 are zeros, it's just, how do you forget that? The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. We are cooked.
Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion, in that the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime.
Holy shit, I'm fucking drowning in the desk. No. Yeah, Ryunosuke is one bumbling boy. Yeah, we thought Phoenix looked stressed out when things were bad for him. Look at this guy over here. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Dude, even Kazuma is like, shit. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it? Can we not just object? Objection?
I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weak are meat, while the strong eat.
Bars?
You are wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell.
This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance of now turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest, which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Come on. Open your eyes, people. This guy got fucking branded by his hot plate. Not even his hot plate. It's the lady's hot plate. Very well, I will now proceed immediately to the ruling.
It seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all.
That smug little. Ryunosuke and Naruhodo, having considered all the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you... Dude can only say yes. He can't object yet. Wait, Your Excellency. When will we hear your first objection? Ryunosuke.
I don't think you can rule on this case yet. This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes. Oh. What is that you're wearing on your hand? I didn't notice that. First time I'm seeing it. Yes! When they say you're an idiot, yes! Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means that if there is a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean. You don't remember him saying yes so many times? Yeah, I did not expect him to say yes this many times either. He's only said yes. That is the only like spoken line he said. No hold it. No objection. No gotchas. The ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
This is blatant straw crunching. Look at this photographic print.
Look at this photograph.
All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There could be no problem with this evidence. Yes.
There's another line for him. A massive upgrade. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to Ryunosuke evolving. You better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. He's like, I have no idea what you're trying to pull, dude. Good luck. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag.
My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes.
Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
But be warned that if I'm unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Holy shit. Tapping his hand with the mallet or a gavel. Dude, he's threatening. He's gonna beat my ass with it. This judge's aura. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Your Excellency.
So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. It is right here. But before I select it, I will grab some tissues to clear my nose. One sec, guys. Dude, I have to like mute myself every time I blow my nose. Fun fact about me. I blow my nose like really loudly. Like embarrassingly loudly. Ever since fucking elementary school. I cracked people up whenever I blew my nose. Anyway.
Yes!
Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. Looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection! Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly, that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag.
Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report.
Really? What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either.
Really? It's very distinctly shaped. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Algie points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Alright. When can I present the picture? Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. It's always appointments with you, huh? What did you say? See, Miss Brett has a... Oh, she would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. No, you can't leave.
Why, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give us final ruling anyway.
What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But I don't keep pushing that it's all over. This is the birth of a patented right bluff maneuver. Passed down from generation to generation. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right.
I am?
If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again.
Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what was little more than conjecture. I'll just say, dude, the music in this game is really good. Do all the strings, I fuck with it. But what if we had evidence? Evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case. Then would you allow it? Agreed, CC. I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed the burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Still looks as pale as ever to me. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. Deep breath. Calm down. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. All right. This one. Easy enough. This is the only picture that actually shows the little cow pattern.
Yes!
Yes! The goofiest yes of all time. What's this, Counsel? Yet another print? Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore.
Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable.
Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer, if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection! You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What in this photograph that explain But what is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn?
Ba-bam.
Yes!
Yes. The beefsteak?
Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate? Oh. Oh!
Your Excellency, are you alright?
As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. Ah! This emblem on the plate. So, I'm trying to figure out what this all means, right? This is the victim when he died, right? Or after the crime happened. First question, why are you here if you couldn't eat anything? Right? This is presumably Brett's seat, because she ordered the steak for herself. Question 2, why do you have the burn? Question 3, when did you get the burn? Clearly, he had to have been near this plate when he got the burn. But did he get the burn before or after he died? I don't think there's any way to tell. But, He's also facing away from the hot plate. By the looks of it, I feel like in order to get this burn, you'd have to fall onto the plate. You know, like slam your hand onto it. That is his right hand, right? And then the emblem is on the right side of the plate. So he was turned around after he got the burn. We still don't know when he died, though. Layers upon layers. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ryunosuke, you're genius. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time. What do you mean most likely? It's literally the same shape. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Ouchie, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks.
But why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. When you agree, Inspector Hosonaga. I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But...
I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Okay, now that you say that, if it's not a mild burn, well, let's see. So it's something akin to a brand, and how these burns happen is that you're holding your skin to the hot element for a longer period of time. Because normally when you touch something hot, your reflexes kick in and you pull back immediately, and so your burn won't be as bad. But okay. So now I'm assuming that the burn happened after he died. Because, you know, if you're dead, you have no reflexes to pull back. So was he turned around this way after he got killed? As a person who burns their tongue on the daily. Fan of hot foods, are you? It's alright. Burning your mouth isn't too bad. Your tissue on the inside of your mouth heals really fast. You could slice it up, burn it. In a few weeks, it'll be good as new. Microwave everything and tea. The plate was around 90 degrees centigrade. A burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. Yeah, 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. Okay, so he was dead already. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter.
Can a man not be both?
Yes!
He's got it all. There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. The Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. Yes. That's right. The strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, I'll be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. And the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Dude, I feel like this, he's not just staring at me, he's staring through me. Wouldn't you agree, Professor again, not professor, prosecutor. I see the pro as the text like scrolls and I'm like, okay, it's pro something. Professor, duh. I should wait before I read.
Well, yes, I suppose.
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? Because he was dead. I don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think? Can it really be true? I never dreamt we would arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. Uh-oh. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. Omae wa mou shinderu. Nori? No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible, apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead.
Already? Dead?
Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. Oh, the slam. Baby's first slam. I'm so proud of you. I knew you could do it. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's madness!
Order, please. Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot.
That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Objection!
No, Prosecutor Ouchie, it's you who has no grasp of the facts.
I beg your pardon?
As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, this court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brent knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brent, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But Your Excellency...
Oh, come on. One Englishwoman can miss lunch one time. That won't break the treaty. Or is there like a little footnote at the bottom of your treaty that says, if one English person misses a meal while in Japan, the treaty is null and void, and we will start a war. That hat, dude, it's impressive. It looks like a looks like a damn parade float. Must be heavy. My head would fall off just wearing that. The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. Smile again. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. You can speak Japanese? Oh, the little curtsy. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours.
Miss Brett? You speak Japanese?
Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country after all. You guys have to suffer my shitty accent. But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. Excuse me? Damn, she's out here calling the entire Japanese language vulgar. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. Dude, never once have I heard anybody describe Japanese of all languages vulgar or vulgar sounding. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level.
Well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us.
I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Here we go. Ooh, music's picking up.
Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible causes of death besides a gunshot.
Were you poisoned? Oh, thank you for the drink water. Money, money. Cheers. Dies of gunshot.
If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me.
Do we have any evidence of poison? All we have is this bottle of wine. Or no, this is sparkling water. It's not even wine. The glass in here. Maybe the glass has traces of something? Oh, this glass is the professor's glass because it was the one that was supposed to be here, not the one that she was drinking from. So if we are able to get the professor's glass, and if, I don't know if the technology is there, but if we can find traces of poison, then bada bing, bada boom. It's over for you.
But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick it up on it anyway.
The most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Really? Easy does it.
I hope that is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible.
Your ouchie is down horrendous.
Amen.
Amen. Christianity is canon in the Ace Attorney universe? Huh? Thanks? Was that a prayer then? Well, you have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now.
I expect you noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. Oh, we're almost done. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, we'll be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Ooh, the slap? That slap was heard around the globe. That thing rung out like nothing else. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. The BGM stopped for that face slap. It's time to lock in.
Yes!
Yes. But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't have not noticed. Oh, what's up, Niv? welcome. Good to see ya. Yeah, we're slapping our own faces. This is what they did back then. Look it up. It's in the history books. Aw, thanks, Niv. Niv, have you played this yet? You think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, a fly on those unsightly black trousers, not back trousers. Excuse me. No, not personally, but you've seen the full first one. Not the sequel. Oh. I see. The fly in those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Ah! What fun! You hadn't realized. Dear lady is absolutely right. As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Yunosuke. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Yes, true gentlemen die in silence. Must not cause a scene. Ever.
Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can.
Yes.
Well, I can't. Anyway.
Yes.
As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right?
Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember, which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter?
Exactly as you say, sir. Although, whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. Damn you?
I have enough English to understand that, at least. For the benefit of the others in the court, it means bless you.
No? I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway, I love the random cursive thrown in there.
Yes.
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes.
Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life.
But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, it's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burnt his wrists on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must already have been dead at that point.
Objection.
and yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time.
See, this is where I'm like iffy on, right? Because we have no concrete evidence of there being poison present. Unless... overdosed on anesthesia? Well, there's no way, right? Because Naruhodo went over and talked to the guy. He was still... still conscious. Although anesthesia could also just be like... for pain, right? Anesthesia doesn't necessarily mean you're asleep. But why would you put anesthesia on your fucking hand for a dental treatment? So that would make sense. So he had to have been dead. I don't know why this is taking so long to like skip through. Won't let me skip through it. I concur, Prosecutor Ouchi is right. Ugh. Some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace.
Yes!
Without leaving a trace. If someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body.
Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga?
As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. Poison. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it?
Oh no, perish the thought. Calling such sweet young ladies' innocence into question? On my honor, I, Takatsuchi Ouchi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions.
A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so?
Quite right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction... Wait, what? What is this? Wait? He's thinking. What the fuck is happening? Where was I? Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand?
A killer blow. This lady is as formidable as she is beautiful.
Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchi is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in our armor. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean About Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person sitting next to her. Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes. You seem to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. Ah. New gameplay mechanic alert. New gameplay mechanic alert. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Ugh, tongue-tied. Alright then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again. Alrighty.
Yes.
Yes. Alright. Let's go through it.
Wait.
There we go. Do I click that? What do I do? Yes, there it is again. Wait. Is that Ryunosuke saying wait? So Ryunosuke can now say yes and wait. Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. New word unlocked? Hell yeah. Vocab expanding. What do you mean? New word dropped, guys. Wake up, new word dropped. People are actually testifying. They're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man in his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? Oh, look at this. Fancy UI. At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left and right with AD, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witness, you'll be able to pursue them with space. If you catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. A press within a press. Pressception. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people in the stand, take a good look around. Alright, then I should move the marker across with AD. Yes. Pursue him. Yep. Here we go.
Wait.
Alright. Let's look around. I'm pressing D. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's a little portrait when you're focused on someone else. Alright.
Excuse me.
Excuse me? A new word dropped? How polite. Two drops in a row? Man, Ryunosuke is so polite. He's like, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts, deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? there's something you'd like to say. Please, share it with the court.
What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately.
Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga? Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain, which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. Dude, the glasses pushed up, they become opaque. This guy's so anime. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. No, he's gonna die. Crime scene thief? Wait. Wait, what if he's dying from the same poison that killed Dr. Wilson? You fucking took the water. You drank it. Oh? I was like, this guy's disease or whatever is gonna like be relevant at some point, right? It's all coming together. But? What do you mean, but? Maybe he didn't like have a huge dose or anything. You know, the dose makes the poison. He just had a little lick or something. I don't know. It was like, it smells funny. Let me have a little taste here. And then, and here we are. The cost of his life. Look, he said it himself. Flawless investigation. He has to know what it is. And a shame such a noble soul had to die like this. Well, unless there's like an antidote anywhere. Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touch a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that? This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming. I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Alrighty. Now we know what to do, folks. Miss Brett, let's do a little inspection. I did not mean to exit out. What can we see here? Anything suspicious? Anything at all? Nothing obviously suspicious. There's just a label. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. You know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. Must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. You could just say that. You don't know. All right, very helpful, guys. So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. Looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much. I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, don't do it. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh, no, you're right. You don't know what might be inside, do we? Foreshadowing. You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke, in more ways than one. I wonder, if there be anything in this water? Oh my god, guys. They can't be any more obvious. Well, it's the first case. I guess it's a little bit of a given. Guys, I wonder what's the method of killing. I wonder. They're making it so hard. I can't figure it out. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Yes. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? Let's see. Let's compare it to the bottle there. It's consistent. It does look like the same bottle. She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. Maybe it isn't the same bottle. Maybe she did a switcheroo. Inspector will kindly control his fervor. No, it looks identical. Although, the bottle on this picture is corked. This one's open. That's the only difference I can spot. Let's try to present the bottle.
Yes!
Yes. What's this? The bottle of water? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. The most obvious one, in fact. Obviously, I'm referring to poison.
Poison?
On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order, order, order! Oh, slamming. And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Giselle Brett, it was you.
Objection!
This is outrageous. To suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now?
Who gives a shit, man? I'm the defendant. I didn't do the crime. I don't give a shit about your fucking diplomacy. I don't want to be sent to jail. Or even worse, executed.
Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth.
Grr.
If I may,
I will silence you for...
oh,
It is you who should be silent.
the shut up is crazy. This is the first time. The first time a culprit is voiced. Like a random culprit, not like a important one. I know like Garon had a voice and she said stuff and she was a culprit. But she's like a special case. She's like the final boss of that game.
Of course. Dear lady!
Where did that come from?
She just snapped.
I'm afraid I've spoken unfairly before. I don't know, Brett can snap some more. I'd like to see that. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady, but to what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe? The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. Osanaga's like, yes, I did test it, personally. You can see its effects right now. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time.
I don't believe it.
Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And? What did you find, Inspector? I will test for every toxin that's available in this country at present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency.
What? Are you sure?
The tests were meticulously carried out by the Chief Coroner himself.
No. No!
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours.
I was so sure. Despair. This can't be right. One sec. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit.
I'm done for. Oh, you Japanese. Dude.
Maybe I should have acted it in like a way more fucking racist tone. All you Japanese. I mean, let's be honest. Giselle Brett is so racist. We hate her. Have I played Danganronpa? I have. All 3. And I watched the anime Danganronpa 3 too, unfortunately for me. Project Eden's Garden. Never heard of it. What is that, a fan work? The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience of... Oops, sorry. This has caused you, Miss Brett. No way I haven't. Well, yes way, apparently. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more.
Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
What? A girl? It's you! Please, wait. Isn't that... What is the meaning of this?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotaba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Susato? Mikotaba? Daughter? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. I just realized she spoke the first "hold it" in this game. To be continued? Are you kidding me? There's more? Sure, I'll save. I thought we were almost done. A 3-parter. That's crazy. Let's see how much more we can do. Already stream for a couple hours. If the third part of this trial takes another 2 hours, I don't think I want to do the whole thing tonight. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why the sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant and a woman, no less.
Ugh.
A woman.
Ouchie, you're cringe.
The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify.
I guess they're being historically accurate.
Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency, I am most grateful.
Oh, we got a team of 3. How exciting. Who exactly are you?
I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now.
What is it? A report about something? Written in English?
It's Giselle Brett's research.
The Englishwoman's?
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper.
Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case?
I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of curare. And its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? How do I pronounce it? What's that? I've never heard of that word before.
Time's up.
You neither? Alright. Curare it is. No, it's probably... Curare? I don't know.
The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
Must be popular with the ladies.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful, thank you. Goodbye then, and good luck.
She's like the exact opposite of Maya in personality. She's very polite and cold. All right, let's take a look at this little journal, shall we? Synopsis. Poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. Hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Special characteristics. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first. Patients would die of suffocation. Anesthetic, you say? This ain't no lidocaine, let me tell you. Curare. I mean, I've heard of the poison, but I've never heard it... I don't remember it being pronounced out loud. Huh. So what does this mean? Well... one way you could have had the poison administered to him was through this wound here. Kind of mimicking blow darts, right? Let's say if a bullet was laced with it. Would be dead immediately. Although, it's probably more likely he was shot after he died, right? to make it look like he died from gunshot. So, scratch that theory. The tidbit about it being an experimental anesthetic is probably the key here. So, he went to the dentist, got a tooth removed with anesthetic. So maybe my theory about overdosing after all could be, maybe that has some footing here. It had been disguised? Possibly, but when you, I don't know. Render a human body paralytic. So the problem here is that the timeline is that he got his dental work done, and then he went to the restaurant, and while he was at the restaurant, he was like alive and well. He could talk, he could move, everything. If he had overdosed on the toxin during or shortly after his visit to the dentist, then this wouldn't make sense how he'd still be like out and about at the restaurant. I'll just let this play out for now. I need more clues. Ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Inosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our last chance. Yes, I know. Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. That's me? I'm a true Japanese warrior? Well, Miss Brett.
Yes, Your Excellency.
How old is this game? I have no idea. I do know it's 3DS era, right? If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely
Forgive me, Miss Brett, but it seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel. $2021? Yeah, that's when it got released in this version, right? Ace Attorney Chronicles, but I'm pretty sure it was released in Japan first on the 3DS to way longer, or way before that. Anyway, this is the only thing we got.
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What complete and utter nonsense? Curare, you say? I've never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist. Correct, which means no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What?
Period is the late 19th century, why they're doing this racism and sexism. Order, order, order. Council, does this deadly poison truly exist? Well, I'm glad that this game actually tackles the issues of the time, right? I feel like if it didn't, it would feel a little less, I don't want to say realistic. It'd make me question why this setting was chosen in the first place, you know? I was like, what's the point of it being set all the way back then if you're not going to wrestle with the problems of the time? Initially released on the 3DS in Japan in 2015. 2015. After Spirit of Justice, I see. So this is kind of Ace Attorney 7. Not really. I mean, it's a full-on Ace Attorney game. Soft reboot prequel? According to this report, authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. Look at Ryunosuke in the back, just shuffling through his papers. They're like, holy shit. Just trying to keep up.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It seems that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett? Kosanaga's flabbergasted.
Trumpery? These aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of the so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
No.
Actually, the poison paralyzes you and kills you of suffocation, so you can't squirm and writhe and suffer in pain.
Puts fingers up. No, actually, no. For real though, when I was saying that, I was doing the whole fingers and everything. I was committed to the bit. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? If only I had glasses, I could push up. Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Cosma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. A full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I've said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous.
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. It sounds painful, yeah. It's absolutely nightmare-inducing. Conscious, imagine like trying to breathe, but your muscles just won't move. Your diaphragm can't go at all. Body loses oxygen, and then you go into panic mode. Even in panic mode, you can't move at all. For the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. You're suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense. If I may, all these facts, you think you're so clever, but you must be taught to It is you who must be taught. Shut up!
Yeah. It's beautiful. The British language is truly beautiful.
Of course. Dear lady. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? You Japanese.
What?
You steal others' honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. When you agree.
Objection!
Add a more mocking tone to it, I'll try.
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan it's breaking the rules.
Yes, as we all know, Japan has all the poisons in the world, and no poisons exist outside of it. What's so funny? Can you take the mask off?
Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency?
Yes, Miss Brett?
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Can you take a swig? Well, yes. I don't see, why not? Cheers. Oh, nice pour.
Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Holy shit. She fucking called us island boys. That's not okay. You can't say that. Sorry?
To an
Also, is Britain not also an island? You little island woman?
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Farcical.
You're really throwing all the new vocab in here, huh? Better study. There'll be a test on it in the end.
Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers.
Wait, what are you doing?
No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
Farcical. Okay, I see. Thank you, Niv. You chilling? The way she had to learn these very specific words in Japanese. Yeah, and here she is saying that she hates the language.
Goodness. Whatever is the matter? Y'all look quite stunned.
So, no curare. The bottle was clean, is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind.
Yeah. Dude, this music.
Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Oh, yes, Miss Bright?
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Ah, yes, dear lady. We're most gratified with all the assistance you have given. Infantilizing is crazy, yeah, for sure. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't know enough about curare to draw conclusions, but what if it doesn't do anything if ingested? Route of entry. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. So it has to enter your blood, or just your flesh, straight up. If ingested, it won't do anything, is what I think they're trying to get at. Oral root doesn't do anything. I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
Maybe the man's glass had been tampered with instead of the wine? The man's glass had been tampered with. What do you mean by tampered with? brain fart. No worries. Yeah, so, I mean, what I'm thinking right now was that he probably received the poison through this wound here, right? No. Wait a sec. He just had a tooth extracted. So the poison could have easily entered his bloodstream through there. Literally an open wound right in his mouth. Oh, I got it. That's the key. That's what it is. I'm a genius. Like, even if you put gauze on that shit, I mean, it's still an open wound. It's not like you're sealing it up perfectly. Assuming they had gauze back then, I had no idea. There had to have been poison in that bottle. Doesn't there? Oh, there has to have been poison in that bottle. That's what the sentence says. There can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Rinosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water does contain poison. The culprit did put curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Objection!
Fool, are you blind? There's no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw.
Miss Brett drinking the water from it?
That's right.
Which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained.
How exactly?
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. Are we going to do a brain blast game? I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert its claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposedly poisoned water unscathed? Well, the journal, for one, it explains that the route of administration is through a wound by passing the digestive system and liver. So,
Yes!
the answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection!
That's not a valid explanation.
No?
After all, we don't speak English. The report is utter gibberish.
Oh my god, this guy's ridiculous.
This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule your court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Sato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You'll direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. All right, fine. What section was it again? Special characteristics. We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison, and it's left me curious about something. Oh, counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters would want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Wait, that's the angle they're going? They're going to explain the hunters first? Wait, no. In this page, there's nothing about the hunters. Okay, we'll get there. Honestly, the worst part about playing Ace Attorney is when you figure everything out. It's like, yes, I got this. It's time to present. And then they make the most like roundabout, longest ways to explain things. And I'm just sitting here like, all right, guys, get to the point. Good gracious, Counsel. No, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. These are turnabouts, not roundabouts? Oh my god, you got me. Holy shit. Yeah. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. Okay, so now that we know that the poison is curare, what the fuck's going on with Hosonaga? I thought he was under the effects of the poison too, under like a tinier dose, but I don't know. It seems less likely now. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Kurare's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little... What? It's an actual... Excuse me? Rapscallion. Rapscallion. Really tried to get me with a rapscallion. Sorry, I was too fucking shocked by the hat, the live swan hat, to notice that she called me rapscallion. Gotta put more oomph into it. Rapscallion. You're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
What was your fucking career path before, Ryunosuke?
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it possibly...
Dude, her mask just, like, expanded. I'll see. You wanted to be a skilled debater?
So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
Ill-bred little puppy is crazy. What are you trying to say?
Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish? Flaw?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus.
Succus? suckest my balls. Yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they?
So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk,
Oh no, not the shut up.
the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he?
Okay, now we're getting to the fact that he had a open wound in his mouth.
That's right.
Good gracious.
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
Order in the court, order. The logic holds. The lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. False. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, this karate poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that.
Oh? What is this? Just a freeze frame. What is this welling up inside me? Oh? I feel something. Deep inside. I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense. Almost rage-like. Yo, he's waking up that dog in more than anything else. It's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Wait, I was joking. He's actually... he's unleashing the dog. Oh shit.
Objection.
Are you kidding me? That's your objection? I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. That was the weakest objection I've heard. Ever. In the entire series.
Objection.
I'm sure the Japanese is way better. It's intentional for what it's worth. You love it. Do they use the same one for the whole game? Maybe it's too much of a spoiler if you answer that. You don't have to answer it.
How dare you use that tone with me?
You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. Neither confirm nor deny. Excellent non-answer. Thank you very much. Expertly dodged. I couldn't have done it better myself. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence, as we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Kurare? Yes, sir. Here you go. No, wrong button. Present.
Take that!
Take that! Wait, he's British? I was using my regular accent, because, like, in my mind, you know, the British people would speak in British. Well, the Japanese people would be, I don't know. I'd be talking to Japanese, so it doesn't really matter what accent I use for them. He's using British English because his teacher is British. Is Brett supposed to be Brit? Maybe. Giselle Britt? That was a pretty good take, that though. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. Fatal difference? The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example.
Ah!
Oh! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. Jiggle physics on the judge? I didn't even notice.
Ah!
So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. Oh, what is this? You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No! I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear. How careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! Is it illegal to tamper with evidence? I don't know if it is here. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? There really was poison in the bottle, or not. You. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady.
Oh, why is it playing? Yes, that's right. Looking at this photograph, it's clear as day, isn't it?
The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So, of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using curare. And then, in order to frame Yunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime.
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged.
Kind of rhymes.
The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Ugh.
This is unbelievable.
How could this be happening? We had her, but now... Is she really gonna get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke. Yes? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing that you could really depend on. Well, yes, that's true, but... I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Oh, every color. Enhance. On the stake? Blood. Holy shit, this guy's memory is better than photographs. That's his power, photographic memory. Is Cosmo right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head, there'd be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer. There's a clue. Actually, Cosmo, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe this smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling. Niggling? Excuse me? Never heard that one. For a while, that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. Are you serious? They want me to point it out? Lock in. Release the dog. I am the hunter. Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes? What is it? Ugh, he's so miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Attention!
Wait a minute, where are you going with this?
Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. Oh, you like matched the font exactly. That's impressive, CC. I saw on that wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on. Spattering of blood.
What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph, the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended directly behind him. Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter, which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Giselle Brett?
I beg your pardon?
Attention!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Oh? Oh, you're Hold It. Dude, so many, like, minor characters have recorded voices. That's cool. This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean? Yes, I took the plate in the interests of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You're a hero, Hosonaga.
You did what?
I love you. I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. I took everything. And I did it all in the name of justice. And we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now. You're cooked. You're cooked, Giselle. Court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Damn, the steak's still there. It's all cold. Here's what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't.
Quickly, Inspector. The blood, man. Show the court. Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. Eh? No. No blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible. Oh, my memory's fucked. I saw it, I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy. Caw-caw. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Holy shit. She's a fucking master rank racist.
I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire.
I believe we may finally reach a conclusion to this trial.
Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly.
Wait, it's not the same steak. Hold on. Is it? The bite marks are different. This is more eaten out of it. London parties are intense. They have the ranked racism. Yeah, casual racism is so lame. We're doing competitive now. It's the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost. Yunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself. Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. Okay, let's take a look then. I think on the bottom. What if we took the metal part off? Nani? Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. Oh. This is the fucking soldier guy's steak. They both ordered steak, didn't they? And he hid the coin under a steak. He stole the coin, he hid it under the steak. But what's important is that this is the wrong steak. Wrong steak, you're a shit waiter. What's he doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. Yep, pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion. Bullion and bouillon. I don't think you ever will again. It's extraordinary, though. This means. Yes, I have an objection. That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? Yes, it's the wrong one. Wrong steak. Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. Sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it?
Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court what you are alluding. Yes, it is under the stake, I guess. Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. Okay, yeah. We've already talked about it. I don't mean what is it? I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it's the same dialogue. For the pearls before swine, the same joke too. Okay. It's from the Hoei era too. It'll make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated in the juices as well. Look. What, are you thinking of eating it? No, but the next time I order steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's gonna be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath it for a prize. I think you might have the wrong idea about the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. Koban coin underneath the steak. There's only one logical explanation. What do you mean? Where precisely? What? There's more? What am I supposed to do here?
Got it!
Oh, okay. Got it. I'm very British. Got it. I got it. Okay, so clicking on it and actually pressing R to present is different. A Koban? What on earth? A Hoei era one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what it is, but I want no part of it.
Objection!
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat. It simply could have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Objection!
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? This turns out to be irrelevant to the case. I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency? Yes, Counsel? Rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. This turns out to be irrelevant to the case. I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Objection!
Your lawyer job you had for less than a day.
No one invited you anyway.
Shut up!
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant.
Even though I'm the one on trial here? The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that stake. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. Mr. Correcta.
Take that!
Take that! Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Raste, Curio Correcta-san.
Cutie? As in Mr. Cucumber something. Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Ugh. Oh, Brett. Just wait until you see the names in the Kingdom of Korean. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with this Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. He was on the floor. The bodies hit the floor. Tower Koban. You mean to tell me?
Richard!
No, please. Why would Correcta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Yes. Yes, it makes no sense. Which is why I'm asking to bring Correcta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. Holy shit, this is taking a while. Can't believe you'd come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down that real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. Holy shit. A whole line of 4. What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize it's dinner time for little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves.
Exploited by the police, we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless, withered antique. Nothing more I have to say. The sun has set on this rusty shop owner's existence.
Be that as it may, Correcta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves, have you ever seen this Koban?
What?
Oh my god, he fucking stabbed the foot.
Yes, that's it. The one, the very one, very exact one that it is. The resplendent, splendiferous Hawaii treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. Can't be.
As I thought.
Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Pull me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices.
Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my Hawaii treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate.
I wonder who it was.
Who would do such a thing? Such an inconscionable thing.
No, I cannot talk. Unconscionable, yes. I got it right the first try. Everybody knows. Excuse me. Can I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. That's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of a waiter. What time is it? Damn, 1:17 a.m.? This case better end fast or I'll have to hit street. In order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. Tell me Nosa is the master thief? The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid the correct Asan hid correct Asan's Koban is all too clear.
What? What?
The court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. A despicable scoundrel. She's 16? You're 24. Wait, she's calling us fucking little boys when we're only 1 year younger than her? You kidding me?
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Yesanosa. What? How? How dare you, you monster. Monster? I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet. But it wasn't me. It was Ido. Ido was the mastermind behind all this. Oh, the zoom in. You push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Ooh. You. Oh. Wah. What is this? Holy shit. His spine just fucking broke. Oh, salute. Oh, he got turned into Waluigi. He's got the Waluigi stash now. Wait, no. Waluigi's stash doesn't look like that. It's the Wario stash. Preparing to stand down. The extraordinary low wages of the Nippon Imperial Army pays those who it expects to keep our country safe. I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place, and I've heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you're stealing things at the restaurant. The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time. Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. Your target that day was the old man in his Koban? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. was set to leave the steak. I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yeah, so the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I know too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double. I slipped under the stake, hoping I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. This is awkward. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time? Well, Miss Brett? Of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all.
May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency?
Indeed. Theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It certainly appeared to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Nonsense, is it? Well, oof.
And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well, now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her.
Hold on. The whole point of this was to prove that the steak was not Brett's.
Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day.
He's like, are you serious? You're letting her go?
Don't look at me like that. You say something.
Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. Can't quite work out what exactly. Something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. Yeah, give him a hold it.
Hold it!
Yeah.
Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago.
What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? She said they're exposed an undeniable contradiction. Hold on. If we look at our steak here, it looks like it has bite marks taken out of it too. Do we just take a picture of the steak? Yeah, so this is Nosa's steak on this picture. Somebody switched the steaks before this picture was taken. And then this steak might be the actual steak that we want.
Take that!
Photographic print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred. What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see in the victim's table. Steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of this edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
Take a good look at this steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. We edging? As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Got 'em.
Ah!
Oz in British. Looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, couldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection!
What is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravishingly hungry.
Oh, there you go. She's not feeling so well.
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course. This will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything to...
Oh my god, the shut-ups.
I've heard enough, you irritating little spectacled samurai relic.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? This is so long, man. Well, at last, it's all coming together. Mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. Is this like the average length of trials, or is this just for the first one? The reason why the bloodstain I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. Most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. Except that these teeth marks in the stick are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. Well, what exactly are you suggesting that tells us?
Everything, Your Excellency. Everything.
Yes, I believe these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of a phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats.
How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago.
Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been? What?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd. The trial's run several hours already.
I know.
You say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
Objection.
I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. If that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, we'll solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well, I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. The last request, finally. Alright, Hosonaga, do your thing.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, he's coughing on the food. No good. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks. Yes? Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chopping my way through a good steak, as well as admitting to stealing Correctasan's coin. He told us that he slipped it under the steak.
You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer.
Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? What's the steak that you put the coin under? In fact, your own steak.
Tension? Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it.
In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
That makes no sense. That place was taken from the victim's table.
Objection. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Changed Japan Nippon to soften the sound of the Imperial Japan Army. Yeah, when you bring up the Imperial Japan Army and brings up a whole bag of problems. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over.
You said it.
You did switch the plates?
Well, after it happened, honestly, same CC. I like the textures, the way they're drawn. When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But when the waiter announced that he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slum with me, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen. I seized my chance. This is child abuse. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak in the one on the foreign lady's table. You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
Unbelievable.
However, fear not, Prosecutor-san.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform. That's all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak, the plate it was on, back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga? Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up!
Ooh, the music? Okay. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
Dude, this music is fucking hype. No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence at the court. Show me that blood red. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir. Hosonaga, my goat. Sorry for keeping you. There it is. Here's the other steak and its plate. Please feel free to examine it. Bloodstain. It's clearly visible. Look.
Yes!
Yes. Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
It can't be.
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! Oh, breakdown time.
Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No. No. No!
Uh-oh.
Yeah!
What, chicks?
Ah!
Oh my god. Oh, a little black one. Oh! What the fuck? Oh, little chicks, how cute. I love the chicks. Oh, she's back.
Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water, because curare is unheard here in Japan.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of water, and it would all be over. I placed the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he'd been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
planned to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happen to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Oh, under your skirt?
You could hide anything in there, honestly, so I was right. There were 2 guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. Ouchie's adding nothing, man. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor, a place where you're sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun, as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, that's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around. It was a smart plan, especially since it was last minute. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun. We still don't know what her eyes look like. We may never will. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Misdemeanor is one way of putting it. Your Excellency. Yes? I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. She wants to make a deal. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. She'll be back, won't she? It's race. It is, but like, she said it, not you. So it's it's all right to quote her in this context, I feel. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement?
No, this can't be. Takasuchi Ouchi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student.
Students, you better start getting used to tough opposition.
Arrgh. Ryunosuke Naruhodo?
What, yes?
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten.
You've become conceited with age, Counsel, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Oh shit, he drew it. Oh. Dude, that sword's range is OP. It looks good with his bald spot. It certainly looks better than the other Pain baldings. A 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Truer words have never been spoken. The Naruhodo clan remains strong to this day. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. Ouchie versus Naruhodo became Pain versus Right. I thank you, Your Excellency. Use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring in new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what will it look like? I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi? Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. Do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. The mission? What mission? I understand, Your Excellency. This the side-eye. What's going on? What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Ah, never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes? You, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty. Woo! Oh, we got cherry blossom petals now. Hell yeah. Where are they coming from? Who knows? We'll never know. It's Ace Attorney. Who gives a shit? The court is now adjourned. (2:46 p.m.) Holy shit. That took a while, didn't it? Can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Alright. I will end it here. I know the end of the episode is very close, but I think that can wait. I'm sure you guys agree. We finished the trial, that's what matters. Alright, folks. Oh, that's it for me. End of this bit leads well into the next. Oh, that's good to know. Oh yeah, they always like do a little transition into like the anime cutscene. Thank you. Yeah, this was a good start, a very strong start. I like the little gimmicks they have so far, like the multiple witnesses at once. I think that's good. Characters are cool. Wonder how they'll differentiate someone like Apollo from Naruhodo, because to me they seem like they have kind of similar arcs. Although I guess Naruhodo is different in that he's not even like a lawyer yet officially. He doesn't even know that he wants to be a lawyer. So yeah, I guess they are distinct enough. Anyway, I should wrap things up here. More Great Ace Attorney is coming up in the next stream, so look forward to it. Thank you all for watching. This has been Deha. hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Be well. I'll see you all next time. You're very welcome.